This is a Catholic priest. And this is a Catholic priest. And this is Holy Horseplay.
I'm Charles Barkley.
And I'm Mike Breed.
Here we go.
Ready?
Okay. Paper, scissors, shoot.
You bounce off the backboard. As you jump to get the rebound, you have to tip it or somehow get it back in before your feet hit the ground.
Father Miller starting it off.
Ball's in Miller's court. Ooh, no good off the backboard.
A 360 layup.
Father Nathan Wayne from the Legionaries of Christ.
Okay.
Oh, he gets it to go.
360 falls. Great shot from Father Nathan.
Can Father Miller connect? Nope.
Okay, I have H.
Father Miller has H.
I'm going
Father
to
Nathan,
do a between the
nothing.
legs reverse layup, going from left to right.
Yes.
Father Nathan, next shot. Between, wow.
Off
he
the
nails it.
charts. Great shot for Father Nathan between the legs, right-handed.
Father Miller. No good.
Good. Just missed it. Father
H.O.
Miller, H.O.
I have H.O.
Father
Do you know what a
Nathan.
slip and slide dribble is?
You put the ball between your legs, roll on your back, and then bounce the ball while you're turning over, stand up, and then I'm going to shoot a three.
I'd have to see it
So you-
first.
Okay.
Oh,
Slip and slide.
as good as it goes.
So, thank you for joining me, Father Nathan. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up Catholic and where you grew up.
Well, I grew up there in Auburn, New York. Very Catholic family. Went to St. Isaac Jogues Parish and then to St. Francis of Assisi. We always prayed as a family every night. I remember growing up as a kid. We'd say the rosary together. We'd have our night prayers together. And I was going to Sunday Mass, and then I was always part of the parish, altar serving, and played CYO basketball for Holy Family for many years. So it was beautiful growing up there in Auburn.
Did you ever think about being a priest when you were growing up?
No, even during my time at St. Joseph's School, never really crossed my mind.
Okay. There must have been something, though, that got you thinking about it. Was there some priest who inspired you to want to follow Jesus, or, you know?
I'd say I had a lot of examples for sure. If somebody stuck out to me, it was definitely Father Albert Shaman. His homilies, his passion. He was funny, he was fun.
You are a religious, so maybe you could just speak to that. What was that like to join a religious order and to do that before becoming a priest?
I did, as a 19-year-old kid, I didn't really make a big distinction. Really, the thing that really attracted me was to be a missionary. But at the beginning, I really was looking for what did God want for me in my life. I actually entered seminary not really knowing, thinking, well, I'm going to give God the first chance. I want him to have this opportunity to, if he is calling me, that I do this first, because if I go to college, I don't think I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
And I went to the seminary, loved it, and never went back. So, but really why did I go to religious life was, first of all, the missionary part, and then I just loved the community. I loved being in community as religious are called to live. So for me, those were the two selling points, I guess.
No, that's excellent. I mean, every baptized Christian is a missionary, but sometimes that community is really lacking, and many fall away because they have no support. I'm grateful for Father Leoy, who I can live with in a rectory. There were obviously probably difficult times. Any way that God brought you through on your, particularly after entering formation?
Well, my first year I'd say it was one of the hardest years of my life. So I made the big choice of being generous and going to seminary. But once I was there, when I sat down to pray, when I got to my desk and had to study, when I was in the kitchen and needed to be working, all of those types of things, in my heart, I still wanted to be somewhere else. I didn't want to give my best to God in that moment. So that year I finished very sad, actually. And my instructor told me, Nathan, if you don't change, you can't continue this way. You're not happy. And I said, Father, I know you're right, but
Oh,
Slip and slide.
it's good if it goes.
No,
Good.
that's tough.
What a shot there.
Okay, I'm very glad that was no good. Just a regular, simple right-handed layup right up the side of the key.
Go for it.
All right, Father Miller runs into the layup. It's good off the glass.
good. Okay.
Father Nathan match,
Yes.
automatic.
I'm going to try again what I missed earlier. You throw it off the backboard.
What you got next?
That was a miss.
Okay. I'm going to try the slip inside dribble and three-pointer.
Slip and slide, three-pointer. Burn!
Nails it. Father Miller.
So that was a very good shot.
This is gonna be tough. Father Miller is always up for the challenge.
No.
I
No
missed.
good. Valiant effort
HOR.
though for Father Miller.
Steph
He's got
Curry
HOR.
3, where
Father
you
Nathan,
shoot and you
zilch.
run the other way without looking if it goes in or not. But you're gonna have to tell me if it went in.
Curry. Oh.
I don't wanna go home knowing that I didn't give my best.
Yeah.
So that summer was like for me jumping out of a helicopter with a parachute, but I said I'm gonna do my best when I'm kneeling in the chapel, wherever I am, to love, right? To be generous. And it was that summer that I guess I overcame that mediocrity I was living in. I was picking the pumpkin patch actually during the summer. We have a month of work. And the passage of the Bible came to me, that of the treasure hidden in the field, and the man who sold all that he had, bought the field and took the treasure. And as I was picking the weeds there in that field, I thought of the field as the Legion of Christ, my religious order, and the treasure was Christ himself, and that I had finally found where I was supposed to be and where God was calling me to.
The image of the field, the treasure, it's not just like there's one little coin there. There's a lot of treasure in the field of God's kingdom. So is there something that you particularly are blessed by as a priest?
I'm sure you can testify, Father. There's a lot of things to be grateful for, from that first Mass until the Mass that I celebrated this morning. Holding God in your hands. How do you put a price on that? But just the power of seeing Him truly consoled by God's forgiveness and His mercy has been spectacular. And then also even the difficulties, the crosses that have come up during the past year. There's a certain intimacy with Christ that a priest finds in that, and knowing that he's not alone and that Jesus has been here before, but he's called you to be there with him, and that there will be a resurrection experience, but we are configured with Christ crucified. So there's been a lot of graces, but those are a few things, I guess.
Divine intimacy, that is so much my experience as well. That Christ is King, but he's also our dearest friend, and that really grows in my limited experience as a priest. So on a completely other different topic, we have earthly mothers. You came from a mother, a father. There is this wonderful connection with Mary, the Mother of God, that the Council of Ephesus proclaimed in 431. But even for centuries, the Christian church, the historic church, had honored Mary. And so on this Mother's Day, I want you to share, why do you think it's good that Christians be close to Mary? How can Mary bring you closer to Jesus?
Well, to put it in very simple terms, I like to think of it as when I was a little kid, you don't really choose your friends. Your mom introduces you to them. And so I think it's a beautiful image of how we're called to be part of this family where Mary is our mother and she wants the best for us. And sometimes we see on the earthly level what's going on because we're like the little kids. But mom is arranging a lot of the stuff for us and is bringing in some of the best and happiest and wonderful things in our lives. So it's not that we worship her, that like we've got a statue. I have a statue of our Mother Mary here, but just like you'd have a picture of your mom, you know, and you ask her for stuff and you know that she's going to make it work. So I think having a very, not simplistic, but human image of Mary is important.
She is not just an earthly mother. She bore Christ, this image of Theotokos. It's a great thing to honor our earthly mothers on this day, but also to seek the prayers and the compassion of Mary.
One of the greatest joys with Father Justin as a priest is during Mass when he raises Christ's body and blood at the consecration. But there are some difficulties, like always sharing him with God's people. I asked him why finally he had decided this, and he said, I didn't think I was good enough, but God's grace will make me good enough.
Thank you for letting us share our thoughts about Father Miller's journey to the priesthood, and have a wonderful Mother's Day.
All right, just a free throw. Anyway.
Free throw? Ooh.
And it follows with Father Miller. Sometimes it's best to go back to the basics.
Okay, I did make that. From the left-hand side, 3-point.
Three-pointer, no
Nope,
good.
that's a miss.
I'm going to go from left to right, reverse layup, but beforehand, I'm going to pick the ball up, put it behind my back while I step into the layup.
Yeah.
Ooh, behind the back. It's good.
Kiss off the glass and it's good.
I see.
Father Miller.
Oh,
wow.
Almost
I
falls.
was very close, but HOR.
I'm going to do the throw it off the backboard, catch it, and put it in.
And as parents, we would have to say, as a child, Nathan had this quality of, you know, we always wondered what God had in plan for him. Even in high school, you know, the teachers would say, oh, gee, you know, he's the kind of young man I want my daughter to marry. So he had a lot of virtues and people could see them. My husband whispered to me, what?
So he was listing the qualities and attributes of a young man, and I said to Deb, that's Nathan. He has those attributes. You know, everyone prays for vocations and for priests and religious, but when it's someone from their own family, then the resistance comes up. Well, yeah, it should be someone else's son or someone else's daughter to serve the church. So there was some challenge with that as well, to say, okay, no, I want your son.
Yeah.
And to be open and accepting of that call.
And to give up the other dreams, you know, like he could have been a doctor. He talked about being a doctor. He had the intellect to be a doctor. You give that up, but then you don't realize, but it's for the better part. You give it up for something better. Remember that the faith begins in the family, and that you have to live out your faith, teach the faith, but really live it out, and so that the child has the love of Christ. They feel the love of Christ in the family, and they have it in their heart. And if they have that, then we have the beginnings of a future priest. So we hope this has been helpful, and God bless you. Bye.
Father Nathan. Oh, he's taking one out of Miller's book. It's good.
He converts it. Hopefully Miller can match here.
Third time's the charm.
Here we go. This could be it. Off the backboard. Oh. Rims out.
So that is it for me. HORSE.
Father Nathan. He wins.
He is risen indeed. Happy Easter.
And that's it.